Yes, here we are at Luton, but we start with that Fulham story because there's been a new twist in the campaign to keep Fulham at Craven Cottage, with the local council announcing a takeover bid. With the backing of the deputy leader of the Labour Party, Roy Hattersley, Hammersmith and Fulham Council are going to seek a compulsory purchase order on the ground. They say it's a move that's been forced upon them because they believe Fulham is going to be forced out of its traditional home.
Hammersmith Council say they're stepping in because once again the future of Fulham Football Club is in jeopardy. Unless redevelopment plans for Craven Cottage are agreed by May the 31st, Fulham face eviction by landlords Marler Estates. And Marler's current proposals, says Council leader Gordon Prentice, are a joke.
And to date we've had nothing but prevarication, delays, excuses, every reason you could imagine why it was impossible for the developers to bring forward a planning application that we would be happy with. And we've said enough's enough.
Marlow want to build a substantial housing development around the perimeter of the ground, which would substantially reduce the Craven Cottage capacity. But Hammersmith Council have drawn up plans of their own. They've lined up a local developer to do the work, and unless Marlow agree to carry out their proposals, they'll seek a compulsory purchase order.
We are the only protection that the club has at the moment. The local community wants to see Fulham stay where it is, the council does, and we're going to use every armoury, every weapon in our armoury to ensure that that happens.
Fully behind the local council is Labour's deputy leader Roy Hattersley, who supported Fulham throughout their fight for survival.
It's essential that the council does in fact step in, because the way things are now, the club may be in jeopardy again. The owners can sell the land if they've not got an acceptable plan and planning permission by the end of next month. And I think most of the plans they put in look pretty improbable. Therefore, theoretically, the ground could again be sold over the club's head. And I hope that Hammersmith Council is going to take action to save it and save the ground for football.
Marler have until Monday to come up with new plans, but tonight they said they've no intention of backing down at this stage. John Gubber for Thames News.
Meantime, back here at Kenilworth Road, Luton have a chance to find their form and sort out their side for Sunday's Littlewoods Cup final against Arsenal. The Ray Harford, the Hatters manager, says a win against Queen's Park Rangers tonight would also put Luton out of the relegation fight. Rangers, with 6 wins out of the last 7, are hoping to finish runners-up to Liverpool this season, just as they did 12 years ago. So this one will be anything but an end-of-season affair. Luton's Ashley Grimes is out. Rob Johnson replaces him. Striker Mick Harford faces a late fitness test, and another Johnson, Marvin, will play for Mal Donachie. Donachie was stretchered off at Wembley during the Centenary Festival with ankle injuries. Not the best of ways to start a cup final week. Well, Arsenal are in the news again tonight, even though they flew off to Spain for the week to try and keep out of the limelight. The Gunners manager George Graham has requested a personal hearing with the FA after being charged with bringing the game into disrepute. It follows an incident at Oxford last month. Now his old club Millwall could go 4 points clear at the top of the 2nd Division tonight if they manage to win at Bournemouth. John Docherty's side, 4 straight wins behind them, will be warned against complacency as they aim to reach Division 1 for the first time. The Seasiders are one of only 3 clubs to have beaten Millwall at home. 6,000 are expected at the Den to watch the game relayed on giant TV screens. It's cost the club £30,000 to put it on. Good news today for Chris Waddle. The Tottenham winger is back in the England squad, even though he hasn't played a full first-team match for the past 2 months. Waddle's return is the only change for the friendly against Hungary in Budapest in 8 days' time. Finally, the latest on the athletes poll is looking bad for Zola Budd. Mike Winch, who's conducting the census, says most are sympathetic but are not prepared to sacrifice their own Olympic chances. And the Zola Budd affair came up in the Commons this afternoon, with the Prime Minister condemning the bid to suspend her from running in the Olympic Games. Mrs Thatcher said she thought the whole thing was repugnant. Meanwhile, 100 opposition MPs have signed a motion to pull Zola out. Well, there's certainly a lot going on in the sporting field today. Now back to the studio.